That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below. Very true in the case of Noita. A lot of you have been asking me to make a video focused on the work, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Except we're also focusing on all 5 essences, as well as on the 3 events that can occur upon bringing these essences to the moon above the work. This will probably be a longer video, so I'm already getting started. Heading up to the first essence above the work, the essence of air inside the moon. The work itself is composed of 8 different layers, exactly like the main part of the game inside the cave. The major difference is that the work starts with the sky version of Hell, after which it becomes the Sky Temple, Sky Vault, Sky Jungle, Sky Base, Sky Snow, Sky Pits, and finally the Sky Mines, above which is the moon. Personally, I like to carefully work my way up the right side, so I don't have to deal with too many of the enemies in here, which are all hell enemies that tend to do a lot of damage pretty quickly if you let them. Finally, we reach the Sky Mines, and it's a short distance up and to the left to find the moon. And yes, the moon is made out of cheese. Unfortunately, we have not yet figured out any way to take it with us as a snack, because we're going on quite a journey. Now we're just going to burrow down into the center of the moon to find the essence of air, which I wanted to collect first to give you guys a nice calm look at the work and the moon, because the other essences are extremely destructive and things get very chaotic very quickly. As we begin to hollow out the moon's center, we see more glyphs, which read, "Converge the edges," which is just a fancy way of telling you to go and collect the other essences from the edges of the world and bring them all together here at the moon. All the air essence does is it creates gusts of wind around you. It will break flasks and blow certain things around, but it is relatively calm, especially compared to the other essences. The next of which we're headed for right now, and it's the essence of Earth on the far east wall past the desert. Having explosion immunity is extremely helpful for this one, since the magic bolts that it fires out can and will damage you if you're too close to any solid objects when it hits them. Now with this, we're going to head all the way to the other side of the world, past the snowy wasteland, to the island in the middle of the lake, inside of which we'll find the essence of fire. For this one, it's very useful to have fire resistance, not because of the explosions, they don't directly damage you at all, but they will start fires, which will then set you on fire and kill you over time. The final essence we'll be collecting on this first run is the essence of water, all the way down in hell. This can also be the trickiest to survive with, so I already spent an enormous amount of time, probably over an hour, digging through the entire world above it to give myself an easy escape route. Picking up the essence of water causes lava to spray out of you in random directions, which is actually a lot easier to deal with than the acid that it used to spray before this most recent update. It's especially easy for me since I have lava to blood on my teleport wand, which I do highly recommend. However, it will still manage to cause some damage now and then, just because of the erratic nature of it. Anyway, now with all of these essences, we only have to make it all the way back to the moon. Upon reaching the moon and falling into the center, the entire thing turns into void liquid, which we can then collect in a flask. This also unlocks the destruction spell, and this is the easiest way that I know of to acquire a sizable amount of void liquid, which is a pretty interesting but overall fairly useless alchemical curiosity, as far as we know anyway. It seems to be the most dense of the substances in Noita, and it will pass through literally anything, altering the makeup into a sort of spongy consistency. It may actually be used for another orb room secret or something else. We shall find out eventually. Anyway, now we're going to do the same exact thing again, except this time we're also going to grab the essence of spirits from the very bottom of the lake. They call it a lake, but it's actually pretty much the Marianas Trench. This thing is extremely deep, and it takes a very, very long time to get all the way down to the bottom, which is where we have to go. Yep, still going. Eventually, we get what we need, and then we get back to the surface, and then all the way back to the moon, which then turns entirely into whiskey. Now that everything in the entire world is drunk, because the moon turned into whiskey and rained alcohol down upon everything, we can have some fun for about 5 minutes before we die. But it actually is a lot of fun flying around with all of the essences, spitting alcohol that turns into flames right before your eyes. But then, you know, all that fun has to come to an end. We've got one more thing to do. For the final moon interaction, we're actually going to need the prima materia, which is the item being guarded by the final boss. So if you have not yet beaten the game, please go and do so, because this is going to be very spoilery for the end. Anyway, when we get to the boss room, taking the item, the MacGuffin, the prima materia, the salt, whatever you want to call it, taking it makes the little guy angry, so it's going to be chasing us all around the world as we collect the first 4 essences once again. All of them except for the essence of spirits. Finally, after reaching the moon with all of these, we complete the work, unlocking the destruction spell, and turning the entire world to gold. Even the particles that you shoot out of your being from the essences, they're made out of gold too now. So you finally have all the gold you can ever want because you couldn't figure out the AP or Midas recipes for your seed, but in the end, there is nothing left to buy. And really, there's nothing to do either. You can explore the entire world and just have fun Scrooge McDucking it for a while, you know? Just swimming in gold, drowning. You could even drown in it. But eventually, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and end the game. And that is that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be covering everything we learn about Noita on this channel over the coming days and weeks and months. So if you're interested in all this, then stay tuned. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.